They helped save Britain from Nazi tyranny.
We wanted to fight against Hitler because we wanted democracy.
And laid down their own lives for this country's freedom.
But the stained glass at Sandhurst tells a different story. During World War II, Indian troops fought across 3 continents under the Union Jack. They were at Dunkirk, they fought at Monte Cassino. They fought to save British democracy, even though under British rule they were denied it themselves.
Can't really believe that we could have won the war without the Indian Army. Without the Indian Army, the Japanese would have overrun India. They'd have linked up with the Germans in Iran, and the whole world would have come under the domination of the Axis alliance.
After the war was won, most Britons forgot the Indian Army. Indian. 60 years ago, this was an army under British command. During the Second World War, 2.5 million troops from India, Pakistan and the rest of the subcontinent formed the biggest volunteer army in the history of the world. It is an army that some Britons choose to ignore.
I can eat what I want, I can drink what I want, I can say what I want. It's a free country. That's why all our troops, died at Dunkirk. There's no package at Dunkirk, and Anzio, and Arnhem, and Monte Cassino.
Lots of black people died in those
battles.
Not at
Dunkirk, my friend, no.
The Commonwealth...
My brother was at all these places.
But the stained glass at Sandhurst tells a different story. During World War II, Indian troops fought across 3 continents under the Union Jack. They were at Dunkirk, they fought at Monte Cassino. They fought to save British democracy, even though under British rule they were denied it themselves.
September 2010, and a crowd gathers on a remote hillside in Sussex to pay their respects to Indian war heroes. Incredibly, more Indians volunteered to fight for Britain in the First World War than all the Scots, Welsh and Irish combined.
When Italy declared war on Britain and invaded Egypt in September 1940, Britain's vital oil interests in the Middle East were threatened. Lose the oil, and Britain risked losing the war. Of 20,000 men under the command of General Wavell defeated the Italians, bringing the British public.
In September 1940, Graziani invaded Egypt, but didn't get far.
Outnumbered 5-1, a largely Indian force of 20,000 men under the command of General Wavell defeated the Italians, bringing the British public news of the first land victories of the war.
We were providing them a bit of a boost because of the victory, and that was sadly needed at that time, following Dunkirk. It's not bad, you know, when you think that the Indians were fighting on a foreign soil for the Empire's cause, not their own country's cause at all. Their performance was very good indeed, wasn't it? Their loyalty was very good indeed.
After routing the Italians in Egypt, Wavell's army went on to crush enemy armies in Ethiopia and Eritrea. In May 1941, the Duke of Aosta surrendered. By November, some 290,000 Italians and their colonial troops were prisoners of war.
On the night of 23rd, 24th November 1914, he led the attack, and injured about 7 to 8 or killed about 7 to 8 Germans. He was severely injured on his head, on his arm, and he was profusely bleeding. But he said that so long the trench is not fully captured, I will not leave the position. And he was awarded the Victoria Cross by King George V. Here it is written, for valor, for valor.